What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I'm one happy dynamic duo Twisted alongside Hex today.
Hi.
And we are recapping what has to be the most disappointing NXT pay-per-view I have ever covered. NXT Battleground, UFC Arena, Viva Las Vegas.
You would think with it being the first time there, they would have had all of their ducks in a row, and it seems like breadcrumbs were scattered everywhere, and so were the ducks.
Oh my lord, this was, excuse my French, a shit show, honestly.
I agree.
There is, for a lot of these, there's no rhyme or reason as to why this person went over, at least in our personal opinion. But again, we're here to cover, to give our own opinions, and to just kind of lay out the facts that we have.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start us off. NXT Women's North American Championship. This was a ladder match. You had Lash Legend, Kelani Jordan, Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, Michin, and Sol Ruca. Once this match started, everybody kind of ran out looking for ladders. These ladders were abnormally small for a ladder match.
I didn't even notice that.
Normally, they're a lot taller. Even in women's ladder matches, like on the main roster, you have taller ladders. These ones were just kind of... I mean, Lash Legend went up to, the third or fourth, pike on it and could almost reach the title.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Not a lot of memorable moments in this match, aside from Sol Ruca hitting 2 of her Soul Snatchers, which I was corrected by Brother Pyro.
Or all of the ladies joining in and getting Lash off of that ladder and throwing her against another one right in front of the announce desk.
Yes. And they did mention this time that the announce desk was a lot closer than usual.
Well, it looked very cramped in there.
I'm a little upset by that, but can't really do much with the space. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, with the space that you are given. Definitely. Closing moments of the match, we see Fallon Henley kind of start to pick up some traction. We see Michin start to pick up some traction. Michin does get pretty much on the ladder thanks to taking out Sol Ruca. And you think, great, this is going to be the one that takes it. Kelani Jordan came in, and I did make a comment to Brother Pyro about this, that the split-legged moonsault off the top rope is getting overused. It is 90% of the women's finishers nowadays.
I've noticed it a lot more now that Tiffany Stratton's now more in the limelight. It seems like a lot of people are just doing that now, and I'm just like, original, y'all.
See, and one of the things is aside from the just normal moonsault, which Lita made famous for women, calling it the Lita Salt, when it came to WrestleMania, I want to say 31 or 32, which is when they introduced the Women's Championship instead of the Divas Championship, Charlotte Flair made the corkscrew moonsault for women kind of big, and now it just seems that Tiffany Stratton, like you said, kind of is at the top, that everybody's doing it. I know it's always been a finisher for Naomi, but now you have everybody doing it. Kelani Jordan, now that's her finisher. It's just overused, the super kick, honestly. Yeah. And me and Pyro could go into debate after debate after debate with how the super kick is used. Yeah, so that will save.
Seems like
the
spear kind of exploded everywhere too. Wild.
Yeah, that was. Once they get really big, then they get overused, and then it's there's no authenticity to this.
Yeah.
But anywho, my little rant there. Kelani Jordan hits the split-legged moonsault, and then swiftly climbs the ladder and pulls down the title. I absolutely hate the way that they did this. I don't think Kelani was the right pick.
No.
I think it was too soon for her. You had a lot of other women a little bit more deserving in the ring, especially a Michin, who you have done absolutely nothing with.
Right. I don't. I was like, well, I guess good for her, but I was left very confused as to why this decision was what it was. Because there were other superstars in that ring that were getting the bigger push. Mm-hmm. So it felt more fitting to go on someone like Lash Legend or Fallon Henley, you know? So, and the fact that it wasn't one of the ones that had more of a spotlight on them was perplexing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, me and Brother Pyro, we were watching and just jaws dropped. Mm-hmm. And I think we froze until the start of the next match. It had nothing to say. We were just very perplexed at the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Again, wrong. I believe wrong winner.
Yeah.
And the way that they set it up where she just ran up and grabbed it as if she had not been through a grueling match really made it kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I almost, like, it made the
night start
upset about Dexter Lumis helping Indy.
Yeah.
Like, that was more viable.
Yeah, it was.
As silly as that looked, at least it looked like she had been through it all.
Yeah.
To get what she was after.
I mean, anytime you watch a ladder match, whether that be Money in the Bank or even just a title ladder match, these people put their bodies through hell. Nobody rushly runs up the ladder as if nobody's touched them and grab the title or grab the briefcase. No, you are put through hell. Your body is put on the line in these matches. I guess she just wasn't that big of a benefactor in anything to not be that, damaged, I should say. But again, your winner being Kelani Jordan, and take us into our next match.
Alright, our next match was the NXT Tag Team Championship match between Nathan Frazer and Axiom versus the OC. Anyway, so this was, I don't know, like, after that match, I, like, kind of lost touch with the pay-per-view a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't recall really any memorable moments even in this match.
No. The only thing I can really remember is the OC, for a majority of the match, dominated beautifully.
Yeah. You
had Carl Anderson really taking it to everybody because he was in for a majority of the start of the match. And then you had Big Luke Gallows step in, and once that man was in, you kind of thought everything was done.
Yeah.
The OC gave it literally their all in this match.
Mm-hmm.
But to much the disappointment of Pyro, myself, and Flash, our winners,
Axiom and Nathan Frazer.
And how do you feel about that?
I mean,
I know they were the ones that you kind of...
It was the match I was, like, least looking forward to, and I expected nothing less than what it was. And I expected little after the beginning, because that one was a real, like you said, a jaw-dropping.
Yeah, that was... I can't say anything else about that. Anyways.
I mean, I didn't really necessarily care who won this match.
Yeah, it was just kind of a prediction to have a prediction.
Pretty much.
Okay. Going into our next match, we have the NXT Underground, Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice, and originally there were rumors or insights that this was supposed to be in a cage, and unfortunately it was not. It was strict underground where we had people surrounding the ring. I'm going to come out and honestly say this match was, excuse my French, ass.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
They made Shayna Baszler look incredibly weak. And she's not even, like, up high on the veteran list at all. They made her look like she was a glass doll being thrown around a bunch of frat boys.
Oh, my God. The fact that these women had to pretty much hide their punches, you could see that they were stiffing their punches. There wasn't... we expected to see Shayna Baszler old. We expected to see MMA, UFC version of Shayna Baszler, somebody who you know.
We at least expected a little more hostility.
Non-scripted, because that's definitely what the hell this was. Non-scripted, Shayna Baszler broke Lola Vice. and would have.
Absolutely. Lola Vice would have been decimated. Body parts everywhere, you know. It would have been wild.
But they played it off with the slight knee injury to Shayna on the outside. Whatever. I don't have a lot of words for this match, and it's really disappointing because as much as I knew that this was going to be one of those matches where you could take a break, I didn't expect it to be this bad.
In a way, it felt like a disrespect to the MMA backgrounds of both of them.
Yeah. No,
This should have been a chance for both of them to shine.
To really show what they can do.
Especially Shayna Baszler.
This would have been the way that they could have really brought her back to the Queen of Spades, the old Shayna Baszler. Ending moments in this match, which completes this was ass, as we were saying. Lola Vice, I believe it was a kick to the head, or was it?
It was a kick to the head first.
Kick to the head, and then dropped onto Shayna Baszler, and 1-2 punches. The ref gets in and says that it was a knockout.
She was thrown into the steps beforehand too. She was thrown into the steps,
but she had gotten up on her own accord as well.
Yep, she had gotten up on her own accord. But,
the rules to the match are tap out or knockout. There was no knockout.
No. From the moment he called the match, Shayna Baszler was attached to his leg.
Yeah. And
no, I'm not knocked out, dude.
Everybody in the even the commentators was like, "Oh, she's confused. She doesn't know where she is."
No, she's not confused.
She knows what's going on. There was no knockout.
She feels cheated.
She sat there and bitched forever afterwards, telling the refs this wasn't the right call. This wasn't right.
It wasn't. I had to walk away.
Yeah.
I had to walk away. I was so angry after this match. I had to walk away.
This was absolutely ridiculous. Not much else I can say on this because there was, and Brother Pyro pointed this out, there was a time earlier in the match where Shayna did the same thing to Lola. It was a kick to the head, Lola fell, 1-2 punch, and the ref never got involved. Never called it. Because Lola was the same position that Shayna was in, and he never called the match. I do have to say that while we were watching this, and unfortunately your winner, because I know I didn't name that, was Lola Vice in this. While we were watching this, Brother Pyro was giving grades, and I had said, you know, with Brother Pyro not being here in person to explain the grades, I was not giving them, even if he sent them to me, even if we discussed it ahead of time. But I want to give the grade for this one because this is the first time in Crossroads history that we started doing these grades that we've ever gotten this grade, and this was an F.
And that's wild coming from Brother Pyro.
The lowest we have ever given anything has been a D-, or there was one time where it was undecided, and that's because he had no words for a match. This was a pure out F. Done. Dunzo. End of story. All right. And I'm going to have you take us into our next match.
All right. Our next match was for the NXT North American Championship between Oba Femi, Wesley, and Joe Coffey. With our winner being Oba Femi retaining the title. And yeah, we could have definitely seen this one coming. Oba Femi is a massive man, and he's proven himself. He's versed some formidable opponents.
Yes, he has.
And he's come out on top every time, even when he versed Joe Gacy, that crazy one.
Oh, you love your Joe Gacy.
I do love Joe Gacy, but he retained. It is what it is.
I mean,
It was a more enjoyable match than any of the other three. Probably the best match I saw that night was this one.
Yeah, we'll get into all of that at the end. So with this one, again, not a ton of memorable moments. We did see Gallus get involved. Obviously, it is a triple threat, which
we knew that
deems
was gonna
no
come.
disqualifications. Like I said, Gallus did get involved, which, again, no surprise.
Mm-hmm.
They attacked Oba. They took out Wes. But Wes, for a majority towards the end, did have the upper hand, which made me really think he was going to be the one that came out on top.
I was rooting. I
I
was cheering him on for my couch. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely here. We're waiting for him to be the one to take that back because he definitely deserved it. Even if it was, between him, Joe Coffey, at that point, I didn't care. I think at this point, and it's kind of like how Gunther was on the main roster, I think Oba Femi has outgrown this title.
I don't think he should have had it. The title was beneath him when he stepped in the ring. Definitely.
I think he's outgrown this. I think it's time for a bigger and a badder challenge. Even, I could see in the next year for call-ups that we get Oba Femi on the main roster.
Yeah. I'm not doubting that one.
And, when they call him up, don't waste this.
The crowd's been chanting him from the beginning with his song always with the whoo.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been in his corner since he stepped foot in the ring.
And Brother Pyro has said it, this is what Omos was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be this big, bruly, I can do this type guy and really just work the ring beautifully. Mm-hmm. And, Oba does an amazing job at everything that he's doing.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed in Oba Femi so far.
No. As much as I wish that the title would have changed hands, I'm not mad about this match.
I'm not either. I don't think I would have been mad if either would have taken it, honestly. I like all three competitors.
Right, definitely. It's just kind of who did you think really had the oomph to get out on top in this match, Yeah. Just kind of...
We should mention afterward that Wes was attacked backstage by Gallus after the match in a 3-on-1 just decimation of Wesley, throwing him into metal storage bins, etc. He was already beaten and battered, and then he got more beaten and battered.
Yeah, definitely.
This time involving objects.
Well, we'll definitely see. I could smell a match between him and Joe Coffey coming up, so we'll see.
Yeah, Wes is going to need maybe a little bit of help in his corner, though, if he's hoping to...
If I'm picking anybody if I'm looking before he was injured, two of his closest buddies are your tag team champions currently. So
Shayna Axiom. That could set up a nice little thing.
That could set up a real nice triple threat match, too.
Oh, yeah.
Or not triple threat, six-man tag is what I was thinking. Yeah. Going into our next match, NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne defense against TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace.
The match where he finally walks away at the end. For the first time.
Yes. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
So early on in this match, I didn't really see how it happened, but Jordan Grace actually got an earring ripped from her ear, and it ended up in Roxanne's pantyhose. I noticed that there was something in the hose, and I noticed that her face somewhere was bleeding, but we couldn't tell where at the
It must have gotten caught and ripped in, because, Roxanne, she wears those fishnets, and
everything can get caught in those.
And she was wearing little dangly hoops.
Yeah.
Which is always a bad idea when you're in a wrestling ring, and with women who are always wearing some sort of netting somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. So with this match, you could really see the power from Jordan Grace.
Oh, yeah.
She came in to prove why she is the juggernaut of the women's division in TNA. Roxanne, with her quick offense, I wouldn't say got the upper hand at times, but she did get a lot of good defense in this because of how quickly she can be.
And I feel like throughout the match, she was learning fairly quickly about her opponent. Yes. Quicker than I've seen some people who are facing someone for the first time.
For a reason.
In a way, she did showcase that with how fast she learned how to combat Jordan in the ring, so.
And I mean, same goes for Jordan as well. She counteracted almost every single one of Roxanne's moves, but again, Roxanne, the same thing. You got to see her counter Pop Rocks several times, which was amazing.
Wonderful.
I did see that there was one time towards the end of the match when she went to go counter Pop Rocks that it kind of looked really messy. Jordan Grace, yeah. So closing moments of this match, you called this. This was not in our earlier predictions, but you called this one.
Yep, I called it during the match, and they had mentioned one person, and that's what brought it flooding back. Tatum Paxley. She, right before, Battleground was set to take place, was talking with, I believe it was Ariana Grace and Jordan.
Yep.
And she said something real peculiar about Jordan's title when she left.
She has a fascination with the title.
She's got a title fetish.
She does. And I think that's because she's never really been in the big main event picture to have a title. That's kind of, she's already kind of crazy. That's kind of going into the
I need more storyline behind the crazy. Yeah. What made her cracked?
I agree.
I'd love to see that.
I totally agree.
But I love how cracked she is, honestly. So
ending moments of this match, Tatum Paxley comes out from the crowd and
from the thick sludge from when she emerged.
Yes. Looks at the NXT Women's Championship and we think she's going after that. But then she sees the shinier belt off to the side, which is the TNA Knockouts Championship, and she grabs that.
And starts to run away.
Starts to leave. And then we see a familiar face. For those of you that know her, she is currently in TNA. I do not know her TNA name at the moment. I do apologize. Formerly known as Dana Brooke. She made an appearance trying to get the title from Paxley, which made Jordan Grace take her eye off the ball.
Ash by Elegance.
Thank you for that one.
You're welcome.
So Jordan Grace took her eye off the ball. We ended up seeing her come out, knock out both of them with the title, and then return to the ring where she actually hit her own finisher on Roxanne, but didn't get all of it. Roxanne counters with Pop Rocks. 1, 2, 3, and Roxanne retains clean.
Technically, she didn't interfere. She didn't ask Tatum to come out. She doesn't want to mess with Tatum. She doesn't want nothing to do with her.
No.
This was all Tatum being cuckoo bananas. So,
technically, it was a clean win.
Me not knowing TNA, I was definitely like, huh? Why'd she kick both of them? So maybe I need to start watching TNA if this is going to be
I agree. I was like... I looked over at Brother Pyro and I'm like,
now I need to know the story behind that,
And he goes, you should recognize that woman. And I said, I couldn't see her face long enough to recognize anything on her aside from the glitter.
Right, she was released with the last big batch. She was.
Yeah, they never, unfortunately, did anything with Dana Brooke. And Brother Pyro's guess for me was... I never did anything, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. That's like 90% of the roster that they just released.
I viewed Dana Brooke as a knockoff Natalia.
She was initially when she came in, she was a knockoff Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Because they had her actually siding with Charlotte Flair for a while. She was Charlotte Flair's lackey.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there, okay?
Oh, yeah, we know. All right, our main event. Take us into it.
Alright, our main event was for the NXT Championship between Trick Williams and Ethan Page. All ego, Ethan Page. Boy, does he let that ego flag fly. Just, wow.
Just like Brother Pyro in a kitchen. Huh? Who said that?
I wanted Brother Pyro to emerge from the kitchen. He's not going to emerge from the kitchen.
No, I wish.
Alright, so this match, it's for a while, Ethan Page was the one with the upper hand. Out the gate, he was upper hand. He was handing Trick his bootay.
Yeah, definitely.
He was whooping Trick's trick, okay?
Yeah.
So, that was that. For a while, he had the upper hand. Eventually, things flip. It wasn't the most electrifying Trick Williams match that I had ever seen.
I don't think their styles clash very well. Mm-mm. I don't think their in-ring styles clash.
It looked a bit clunky at times.
What, dealing with Baby Crossroads, dealing with Baby Crossroads, I did miss a bit of this match, unfortunately. So from what I did see, it was very sloppy. I got to see the 1, 2, 3 at the end, and that was it. I remember Ethan Page dominating in the beginning, but the middle to slow end, and it was a very quick match too.
It was surprisingly quick for the main event.
Yeah, but middle to end, I did not see any of that. I just know it was very, very sloppy.
Yeah, it was this whole pay-per-view, man. Just
but
picking up the win and retaining is Trick Williams. And I guess he whooped that trick, didn't he?
Yeah. Whooped that trick in a very non-trick fashion, obviously.
Yeah. What can you do? This is why perhaps we don't book main event title shots to people just coming into the company. He's never really wrestled anyone in there yet.
Yeah.
It was a little bit okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was, this entire pay-per-view was just really bad.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that about NXT.
I expected so much more.
I did too, especially with the fact that they were doing it here in the UFC arena. And you had actually said something after this pay-per-view that you think it's a runner for one of the worst.
Yeah.
And that goes against everything we cover. Main roster pay-per-views, which you've heard me and Brother Pyro crap on so many times because they can just be mediocre. Mm-hmm. But you don't ever expect it or hear it about NXT. Mm-mm. You hear it about the other show that we cover, AEW. A ton of times we sit there and we complain and we bitch about the fact that Tony Khan gave us 15 matches in a pay-per-view. And I'm up till midnight watching this crap. And I watch it live, and I watched it when it started at 7 o'clock. And I'm up till midnight.
With the tiny baby Crossroads to take care of.
But you never expect it from NXT. Ever.
No, you never.
There's never been a bad NXT. There's been mediocre ones where, you're not really super amped.
But at least there were notes to be excited about.
Yes. This, no. Best match of the night.
The matches that were not disappointing were just okay at best.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Personally, my favorite match of the night, I know it doesn't agree with you.
That's fine.
Had to be the women's title match because it showcased beautifully. Do I like the ending? No. Do I wish that Roxanne had pulled an underhanded tactic so that we could see the storyline continue?
I kind of do, yeah.
But that is not what we got.
It was what it was.
Your favorite match of the night?
Probably the tag.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was one you were least excited for, honestly.
That should say everything.
Yeah.
I didn't, it went above the Trick Williams match, and I love Trick Williams.
Oh, we know how much you get into Trick. Definitely.
Ooh, that Trick. And we had Booker.
Yeah, we had Booker on commentary. Booker was feeling it, and that's something we even said on the pre-show. We wanted Booker on commentary for this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wherever Trick is, Booker better be there or I'm upset.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very missed thing when Booker was gone for a while. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I remember looking at Cauldron and being like, "Where's Booker? This is an outrage."
Yeah, definitely. Well, that ends NXT Battleground. Unfortunately, the biggest disappointment to us to date. We do have Clash at the Castle next weekend.
We do. I'm excited.
Which we will definitely see your lovely face for.
I'm so excited. I'm very much looking forward to Clash at the Castle.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot coming. And so we will talk to you guys about that then. And then after that, end of the month-ish, we have Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. Open that Forbidden Door.
Oh, I'm excited for that one too. I know they announced at least 1 or 2 matches. I know one of them is Mercedes Moné. I cannot wait to see her get her teeth kicked in.
Like I said, I'll watch it.
But you're not a fan of Mercedes, we all know that.
Anywho,
that ends us out here, and we will see you guys later.